what I want to cover is the practical side of things, how to use AI in building AI into your organization and integrate it and actually use the power of AI, because I think a lot of us has obviously heard about AI over the last few months, especially, and we know AI has been around a long time, but especially with generative AI growing so quickly in the last few months, then we want to know, like Greg said, what is the hype about? And maybe what I want to do today is remove some of the fear of these tools and also demonstrate some of the use cases where businesses are using this using it to grow their business and to scale their businesses. So before I get into some really cool tools and things to show you and some cool ways that people are using it, I want to just sort of give you some sort of context of where all of these tools fit in. So we've heard of ChatGPT, Claude, Bard, Bing, and Llama, and those sort of things. But where does it? What type of AI is it, and where does it come from? Artificial intelligence has been around a long time, and it's making a machine think and act like humans in simple terms. Then the next level down from there is machine learning, that basically uses algorithms that looks at patterns in order to make predictions about future events or what it is that the solutions that you are looking for. And then the next level down from that is deep learning, which is basically mimics the human brain. It makes the machines think a lot more like humans because it can handle unstructured data like images, speech, video, and natural language. And that's where the generative AI comes from, that has created these wonderful tools. And they basically tools that can then again create human content such as text, speech, video, code, and images, or human-like content, I should rather say. So again, why is there such a big hype about it? Because we all looking forward to the promise that AI or generative AI is delivering about increased efficiency, improved productivity, saving money, increased sales and leads, even business networking, and definitely learning new things from the chatbots. And what I wanted to cover today is I'll show you a whole bunch of different tools, but maybe starting off by how to talk to the chatbots. And this is actually something that is called prompt engineering nowadays. So it's just a fancy name to say, how do you get the maximize benefit in the way that you sort of the input that you deliver in order to get the best output from the AI and the chatbots. I'm not going to go into too much depth about prompt engineering because there's a whole separate sort of masterclass that we can do on prompt engineering, but I'm just going to give you the outline, a quick formula that you could use next time you go on to ChatGPT or Claude or one of those sort of things, and that's to use the formula scribe, which is basically specify a role, give the chatbot's context, give it a responsibility. In other words, ask it what you want to do, give it some instructions, and then go back and forth in terms of explaining to the bot what it is that you want, and then to evaluate. I'll show you in some examples actually what I mean by that, and there's some more tips and tools, but as I said, for today, all I'm going to do is just going to give you an overrun of that. Most of you have probably, and maybe it'll be an interesting question, if people can just in the chat say whether they've actually engaged with AI or ChatGPT, just say yes or no, just to see how many people have engaged with and what level people are, because I think we've got a mixed audience in terms of that, mixed in terms of the level of knowledge of AI, but also in terms of the industries that you are from. So we're going to be quite general, but I think a lot of these things are applicable to a lot of people. So let's have a look at ChatGPT first of all. For those of you who haven't signed into ChatGPT, just Google it and you'll find ChatGPT, and you'll get a sign in, a login, sort of like this, where you can register. It's free. It's free. There's a free version, but there's also a paid version. The free version is the 3.5. If you see the little plus sign there, that means you got GPT-4, and you're paying about $20 a month to get all the extra benefits that GPT-4 is providing for you. So those are the two different models. I'll illustrate a lot of these things in 3.5 to show you that can be done. On the left-hand side, you'll see all the history of the chats that you've done before and things that you've asked before. And then also you'll see down below your account and the settings where you can actually activate some of these things, these additional functionalities that comes from GPT-4. So as I said, if you go over to GPT-4, there's something called advanced data analysis, but there's also plugins now that gives you additional functionality, like you can chat with PDF, or you can even book things on Kayak. But if you go into the plugin store, you'll see there's hundreds of different PDFs that does different things with ChatGPT as a base. And then your settings, the little things that you could do there is you can, for instance, browse with Bing now, which went away for a while. It is back now, that you can have it live on the internet. So it's current data. And then, of course, advanced data analysis, which I'll show you some more about shortly. The next thing I want to do is just kind of start off by kicking off and say, okay, if I'm going to use ChatGPT, why don't I ask ChatGPT what I could be using it for? And it will give me a whole bunch of answers, like it could be a virtual assistant, customer support, content generation, tutoring, language. All of those sort of things can be that ChatGPT can do for me. This is quite cool. If often when you get stuck, is just ask ChatGPT about it. And then something I use quite often is that I just say regenerate an answer, because we don't always know that the answer that we're getting is the actual, the correct answer. And then when your second answer, you can just toggle through it like that, and then obviously copy it and take it across to wherever you're working in Word or PowerPoint or whatever you want to, wherever you want to save this information, you can do that. So the next thing you can do is, let's say it's given me 7 different responses over here. I can maybe then say, give me a list of each of these and limit it to only 1 sentence. And then it gives me a list of that, and it gives me 12 examples of how it can be used. And even if that's not sufficient for me, I can go back and like I said in the previous example, just give it an example of the format that I want, and it puts it into a table format for me, which is that may be a lot more applicable for where I want to use this. And here's another question: is they help me develop a business plan? A lot of people get stuck when they start a business. They don't know how to do a business plan. Well, we can ask ChatGPT that, and it'll give us quite elaborate and a comprehensive outline of how to start a business plan. Another use case is if you've got lots of data, you go to Wikipedia, and there's a whole write-up on what the solar system is and everything about the solar system. You can ask it to summarize it. Just paste that text across, and it'll summarize it all for you in a short little paragraph that's easy to read and easy to understand. If you prefer it in bullet points, just tell ChatGPT, write it in bullet points, again, giving it context or the what your requirement is in terms of formatting that you want to do. The other thing that then obviously becomes very important is depending on who you are, how you want to see this context. So maybe this is too complicated for you, and you can say, explain it to me like I'm 8 years old. I used it quite often, not that I'm 8 years old, but it makes things just so much simpler to understand because it writes things in layman's terms, and it's easier to read and easier to understand. On the other side, if you see yourself as an academic and very smart person, you can tell it to write it as a college professor, and then it's going to get really into the nitty-gritty and give you lots of numbers and facts and figures and things like that. So that's just sort of a start-off point in terms of using ChatGPT. But now things are developing so quickly in the AI world that ever since I did that video, more things have come on. We've got DALL-E 3 that has been added, which you can now generate some pictures. And previously, you had to go to another tool like Midjourney or Blue Willow or Leonardo, or there's a whole bunch of tools like that that's come up in the last few months. Now you've got DALL-E 3 built into ChatGPT, and you can do it here, and it gives you fantastic pictures. It really is a high quality pictures. For instance, if you ask it, just give me some examples of human emotions. Even the text in this is now superb, which was previously wasn't great in a lot of these image generation tools. And you can see the quality of this. This is, here are images of Shih Tzus performing various human tasks. If I ask it to do that, you can see it really is good quality images and high resolution, and stuff that you can really use in your content generation. And another feature that literally came up yesterday is now, in my ChatGPT got loaded. Some people got it like a week ago. Is chat with images. Now you can upload it. If you've got this little icon in your ChatGPT, you can upload images and you can ask it questions about those images. Then you could basically, if you're on the default setting, then you got that tick, you should see the picture down there to do that. And look at some of the stuff that people are doing with it already. People take a picture of all this complicated road sign. It says, it's now Wednesday, 4 p.m. Can I park at the spot right now? Just tell me in one line. It says, yes, you can park for 1 hour starting at 4 p.m. Even complex images like this one, if you have a look at that, it's to even take a human a while, like, what does this mean? And the AI understands this and says in the first panel, each individual has a different shape in mind, but they seem to think that they're on the same page, as is indicated by the text. I'm glad we all agree. And you can see it really gets it. It understands what that image is about. Even super complex templates or project plans or something like this. This comes from the Pentagon, apparently, this chart. Really difficult, and it'll take somebody days to decipher this. And you can upload that, and ChatGPT with a vision feature will just break it down for you and give you detail of what is in this file. And here's another cool example with architecture and design. You can ask it, and it tells you that style there is Athenian modernism. The other thing is it's also quite hip and cool. It says, what is this movie from? What is this person saying? Tells you it's Russell Crowe in the movie Gladiator. And he says, are you not entertained? If you saw the movie, you know that is quite correct. But now in the world of everyday life, we did in solving processes that you're doing, we did a presentation for the people at Takealot down here in Johannesburg. And an issue that a lot of them have is when they make their listings on Takealot, it's a cumbersome process, because you have to come up with a spreadsheet with, if you have a lot of listings, let's say this is about 17 listings that you've got to do, and you've got to write a product name, a product description, key product features, and search them for each one of those before you upload it into the Takealot system. That takes quite a bit of time. So what you could do is use a tool called GPT for Sheets, which what it does, it transports the ChatGPT stuff into an Excel or a Sheets worksheet, depending on whether you work in Google or whether you worked in Microsoft Office. And if you load this as an extension into your Google Sheets document, it'll come up on the sidebar and it load GPT for Sheets. And I'm now going to be able to use ChatGPT inside of my Sheets. Before you do that, you just have to link it via API keys to your OpenAI account. If you don't know exactly how to do that, there is instructions on the OpenAI website how to do that. So what I can do now is write my prompt in a cell in Sheets. I write a prompt called write a product name for a marketplace listing that is SEO optimized. And if I type GPT as a formula in here, it gives me all of these different functions that I could do with GPT for Sheets. It can, create lists, it can create tables, or whatever it is. I'll just use the basic one, and with that formula, I refer to my prompt up there, and then I can go back to all of these different characteristics of my listing, whether that's size, color, description, directions, all of that stuff. I'll ask ChatGPT to write me a product name for Takealot. So there we go. It writes it for me, beautiful in simple, plain English that I can load up into the ChatGPT system. And for those of you who know Excel, Sheets, once you've done a formula, you can always copy that formula and repeat it. So if I now write a new prompt up here, write a product description for a marketplace listing, now I can use that same formula because I've referenced all that characteristics, and I'm now referencing the new prompt, and boom, it writes it for me quite quickly and easily. And I can repeat that process now across to the other two columns, like key product features or a search term or whatever it is. I just give it a different prompt at the top and then drag that formula across, and you can see it'll write that for me fairly quickly and save a lot of time where you were going to write this. And you saw that we had 17, so now we copy the formulas down so that we can get all 17 of those new listings written and done quite quickly. So those are the tools that one can use for this: ChatGPT for Excel, or Sheets, or GPT for Excels, or numerous. Another amazing tool. We all know that to get a data analyst or a data scientist in your business is usually quite an expensive process, and it's quite difficult working with data scientists. But before I get into that, I just want to show you also a quick other function. Just learning formulas or asking Excel formulas is like, my Excel formulas has values in column A and B. How do I find values? And it'll give you a formula. So here's a little exercise that I did with some data that I got from what they call a superstore. And as you can see there, it's got all its columns: year, month, category, sales, profit, subcategory, all of those sort of things. And it's got thousands of rows of data in here that I now need to understand more about. And instead of going to a data scientist, I'll just ask ChatGPT, with the help of the function called advanced data analysis. It used to be called code interpreter previously. Now advanced data analysis, make sure it's switched on and make sure it's ticked. And I can then go and upload that Excel spreadsheet of mine in the form of CSV format. And I just click the plus button over there, go get my file. And the beauty of this code interpreter, I don't have to ask it specific questions right off the bat. I can let it look at the data and tell me what type of analysis is a good idea. So I ask it, what analysis can you do with the data that I just gave you? And already it'll give you, it'll start working on it. It works in the background in code. And you see there, it shows a button that says show work. It doesn't show it off the bat, but in the background, it's working off code. You can go look at it if you're interested to see how the coding process works, but immediately it shows me what data it's recognizing and what it interprets each one of those columns are. And you can see that it understands the data, and it starts telling me types of analysis. I can do a sales analysis, customer behavior, geographical insights, company and industry decisions. And I can say, okay, I want you to do the sales analysis for me by category, by subcategory, and by state. Tells me I've done an excellent choice. So it's flattering me and telling me I'm smart, and I'm quite happy about that. And then here's the steps that it's going to go. First, do the sales by category, then subcategory, and then by state. shows me graphs, it shows me numbers, shows me summaries of each one of the categories that I'm selling, and it tells me the home category, leads and sales, followed by the activity in the entertainment section. And it gives me a beautiful chart that I can work with in this data. And then it tells me, finally, let's examine the total sales by state to get a geographical perspective. So it's going through the process one by one. I'm just going to skip ahead a little bit quickly to the end, and it shows me Texas in the home category. So it summarizes all that for me, and then it continues with the analysis. I sort of skips past some of the stuff, but you could see it starts to give me insights instead of just data, instead of just charts and stuff. So it starts to interpret some of the stuff that it's seeing. So still doing that analysis for me. And then what I can do is I can maybe also, sometimes it's smarter than me. I can say, calculate the profitability of each one of the categories and I say to it, by using this formula, sales price minus cost price. ChatGPT or advanced data analysis will then say absolutely, and then tell me, actually, this is the formula that I should use to get the correct profit margin, and calculate that for me. So it goes ahead and does all of that, and it shows it for me. And then here's where the insights come in. I ask, what areas of my business should I be focusing on? So again, you're asking it to look at the data, interpret the data, and give me insights to that. Here it tells me high priority areas that I should be looking at is the home category. It tells me why, it tells me the action I should take, it tells me the Texas market, the why, the action, and the electronic categories. The ones that are not so high is the moderate priority areas that I should be focusing on, and it gives me all of those, and it actually tells me I should focus on payment platforms and devices, areas for further investigation. So you can see it really does a thorough job in terms of giving you feedback on stuff, if you give it great data sets. And this is something that is very important when it comes to ChatGPT or AI for a lot of cases, is that you have proper data that you can feed it. And the better the data is that you feed into the system, the better the results. By the way, if you thought those charts were ugly, you can always say, change the chart to show distinct colors, and it'll very quickly go and change the colors. You can change the fonts just like you can in a PowerPoint or an Excel charts. So I got some data from Gerald earlier this week, and it was just a small slice of data, and I actually just want to use it to illustrate something to you. It immediately, when I uploaded the data, it says it appears the first row of the column names and starts from the second row. To perform meaningful analysis, we should first clean up the data set. So it doesn't just do the analysis, it can actually clean up your data for you, which is usually, as a lot of analysts would tell you, takes half the time, is just to clean data sets, or maybe a bigger percentage of time. So it cleans it up, and it gives me a descriptive analysis of everything that's in there. Gerald is in the logistics industry, so here, for instance, they say, okay, we could do a descriptive analysis where we look at the volume of parcels, weight distribution, or we can do a temporal analysis where we look at booking trends, seasonal trends, geographical analysis, or even advanced analysis with predictive modeling in it, if our data allows it. So then another one is like a volume of parcel analysis. They immediately starts showing me in each one of the regions that is in the data set how many parcels are done, and the weight distribution, the average weight distribution. All of that stuff is being shown, can be shown. Then I asked it to do a deeper dive, and it says, okay, let's dive deeper into a regional segmentation, cluster profiling, temporal trends within the clusters, route optimization, revenue. And I say, okay, do route optimization, but again, it comes across some problems in terms of the data. it says we're trying to merge root data with regional cluster data. So it immediately knows it's got to merge those two to make a significant analysis, to come up with a significant analysis, but it can't do it with the way the data I'm providing it. It doesn't push it back to me and say, clean up the data before you send it to me. It says, I'll correct this and proceed with the analysis. So, and then it goes ahead and does the root optimization where it combines the consignees with their regions, and it gives me a summary of that. So really fantastic, powerful, advanced data analysis has blown me away. It's one of the best tools that ChatGPT has come in. Whether you work in Google Workspace or whether you work in Microsoft Office, they've all coming out and starting to feed in AI into their tools. I'm just going to show you Google Workspace. It's pretty similar in Microsoft Office. Here, for instance, across all the tools that your productivity tools that you use, here, for instance, in your email, say, those big emails, the long emails where a lot of people are chatting and then you're not sure, what am I supposed to do with this? And you ask it, give me a conversation summary, and I get the summary, and I say, I want to say I'm on it, but I do want to sound professional, and it helps me to write a professional email back to say, okay, I'll do whatever my job is in this case. And then the first thing, it can use all of those emails to write a campaign brief, which it will do in Google Docs or even in Microsoft Office, depending on which one you use. And obviously it can help you, like AI usually do, with the style of it. And then again, it uses the same data and it jumps across to slides or to PowerPoint, and it can help you write information from those documents that it's already referencing, that's within the Office. Microsoft Office talks about Copilot, and it basically just it's a tool that operates amongst all of these different tools that you're working on. And there you can see you can create beautiful images. All of the generative AI power sits within these tools. And then you need to have a meeting about your spring agenda, and you can hop across to your meeting platform, and it'll summarize meetings just like a lot of people do here today. I love this thing, and this is where the power of AI really comes to light, is if you have a lot of different information, again, about your customers, and you want to send them unique and personalized emails, then you can do it with this tool, and you can see that each person is going to get a different email that is unique to them, which is going to help with lead generation or conversion of those emails. And then obviously a lot of these tools, you can do it in a phone format, not only on a desktop. Some great other tools which we know about, the image generating tools, but if you've got a business like an e-commerce business and you've got some products and things like this that you got pack shots of, and they're very boring, but you need to make them come alive a little bit for the website that you're selling on. You can use this tool, for instance, where you could put some things in the background, maybe a model or something, and once you sort of place the model there, it'll come up and actually create a real model behind that. Or you could put a hand under the product or whatever it is, and then you see there it creates the model for you. Or you could use the generative AI functionality where it says a whiskey bottle on a grassy patch of moss surrounded by clovers and flowers against a lush and dense forest. So I write to it what I've got in mind, and once I'm happy with it, I just hit the generate, and it creates the background for me pretty quickly. And I'm going to just sort of skip forward here. You can see in the end I chose the one with the bubbles, the gold bubbles, and it creates those images for you. So you can see how much time it would save in an e-commerce business in creating these images. The next functionality is text to presentations. So, for instance, if you want to create a presentation, there's a tool called Gamma where you could literally just write the text of what it is that you have in mind, a pitch deck for a building, a colony on Mars, hit generate, and it will basically create the whole PowerPoint presentation for you. In this case, it'll write it for you, or you can obviously upload your own text and just format it in this tool. And then you can see all the slides coming up there. If there's something that you don't like, you can go and again edit it with AI. So you can go back to the AI and say down here at the bottom, you can say, okay, how can I help? And I can say, let's change up the look and feel. I don't particularly like that style. And the AI will give you some different formats that you could use, and it'll show you, okay, what about these different ones? And I can say, okay, I like that, I like this one, and it'll change the whole presentation to the new format. Or if it's just individual slides that you want to change, you could, for instance, say, can you change this table for me? And or maybe are there better ways to visualize this? Again, it's going to give me options, and it can change everything pretty quickly for me. As you can see, it's changed the format. And then, yeah, even if you want to change it out of a table into bullets or whatever it is that you want to do. A quick one that I want to show you that's in Canva. Canva is very powerful. Canva has uploaded tons of AI functionality and tools and apps that now, again, you don't have to go to ChatGPT or Claude or one of those sort of things where you could literally work in a tool that you've worked for in years, because they're all integrating AI functionality into their tools. And this one is particularly relevant because as the African Academy of AI, we often get the question about, competing on global markets. Often it's difficult dealing in different languages, and even ethnic languages in Africa, how to translate amongst business ideas. So this is just something that Canva has got an AI translator that it's built into the process. Yeah, you can, for instance, just say, ask Magic Write, or that's the AI within Canva, to write a thing for me. How should I start and grow a digital business? And there it's written a whole paragraph for me in English. And now what I'm going to do is go ahead and just translate this into some native languages in South Africa. We've got 11 languages here, so we need to be relevant in all cases. And if you look on the side here, there's a button called Translate amongst all of the other AI tools. You can choose from all the languages, and there is Xhosa, there is Zulu. You choose the pages you want to translate. You can do the whole presentation in one go, and it will translate the presentation for you. For those of you who do understand Zulu, you can tell whether that is translated properly, or even this context here. If it's not, you can go in and edit it a little bit, just change the formatting a little bit if it's longer or shorter. And that one was in Xhosa. This one is then I'm going to do it in Zulu, and it'll translate it or for me, add those pages to the presentation. So you've got both. So again, now you've got 3 different languages done in a very short space of time. Another functionality within Canva, and I'm going to skip across these quite quickly. If you write, say, in ChatGPT, you're a social media expert, give me some postings for social media. I'm going to quickly show you, it'll write it for you out like that. A whole lot of social media posting, maybe an Instagram post for a whole week. I can, again, bring that across into PowerPoint, save it as a CSV file, and then upload it. And then here's the beauty in Canva. I can use that CSV file, and with a function called bulk create, I can create a template and upload a whole bunch of different posts or Instagram posts. I can create them in a very short space of time. So for instance, if I want to add text into these 3 different text boxes, I go across to the apps on the side, and you'll see there's one called bulk create. I click on bulk create, and I upload my CSV file from the ChatGPT thing that I did. It's in CSV format. And then you'll see at the bottom here, I can click on that text box, for instance, and I can say connect the data, and I can choose which column I want to add into that one. I can connect data to this one as well. And then I can go ahead and hit continue. And that's there. It shows me all of the different posts it's going to create. I'll shorten it by only creating 5 or 6 of these images, and you'll see Canva creates all of these different posts. They're not formatted 100%. I can quickly go and change just the size of them, but you can see there's now 6 different media posts that I created in a very short space of time. So again, very powerful functionality that can be done through Canva, Gamma, Slides.io. Quickly, just on text to video. Again, you saw the text to presentation. Text to video, for instance, is where you can just write a one-liner. Obviously, the better the thing that you write, the prompts, the better your results is going to be. And
a giant bubble wrap
the background, voiceovers,
from gravity,
stock image, everything is done beautifully for you. And again, you can go edit.
Just pop some bubbles and you'll be right. No need to worry. It's a funny sight.
It's pretty awesome that you can create things like this in a very
Imagine waking up to the sound of space-time being distorted each day.
Into an ad. So again, you can create your own ads in a very short space of time. Something else that Gerald just mentioned, that a lot of people are interested in lead generation, using videos to customize email messages, for instance. You can use a tool like this, where instead of sending people text messages in email, you can show them personalized video messages. And this is a tool that I found that does that very well. Again, maybe at this stage in the AI development, some of these messages are a little bit robotic, but stick with it. At a year's time, I bet you there's going to be tools that are a lot more powerful. So how it works, you upload your leads or your contacts from all of these different tools, Zapier or B2B lead search, or even just the CSV file. And you can once you've done that, it uses that information and it creates unique messages for everyone. You can create your own face over there and avoid your own voiceover, and it'll clone it, and you'll end up with a video that is specifically mentions the person by name and addresses. You can tell it what sort of topics it needs to, or what sort of things you want it to mention, like the first name, the company name, or whatever it is. And there you've got a video message that you can send, which is going to help a lot, again, with conversion in terms of generating emails. So you can see a lot of these things are happening. There's some tools there that's text to video. Runway ML is another one that's very powerful. And I'm just going to end off with this quick video to show you where Runway ML has come in the last few months.
Not too long ago, Runway pushed the boundaries of generative AI with Gen 1, a video-to-video model that allows you to use words and images to generate new videos out of existing ones. In the weeks since launching, the model has constantly gotten better. Better temporal consistency, better fidelity, better results. And as more and more people gained access, we unlocked entirely new use cases and displays of creativity. And today, we're excited to announce our biggest unlock yet: text to video with Gen 2. Now you can generate a video with nothing but words. No driving video, no input image. Gen 2 represents yet another major research milestone and another monumental step forward for generative AI. With Gen 2, anyone, anywhere can suddenly realize entire worlds, animations, stories, anything you can imagine. Gen 2, coming very soon to runwayml.com.
That's it.